We are back with some more Giants franchise, and this season did not go the way we really wanted it to. If you guys remember last season when we lost in the playoffs, we kind of just went over how our team did in the regular season and stuff. And that's pretty much what we're going to do in this one. Just go over how we did in the regular season, who played well, who didn't play well, things we need to address next season, things like that. So this video probably 20-30 minutes long. It's going to be just like a regular normal sized video. First things first, sorry for not commentating last episode. I'm super busy this week, getting ready for the holidays. It's my mom's birthday, all this stuff. I saw Star Wars, like a million things are happening this week, so I had to play the game super late at night. My girlfriend, she lives with me, so she was sleeping as I was playing, and that was a no-go. There was no way I was going to be able to act a fool, record it, talk, stream it, do all that stuff while she's sleeping. I would get murdered. But I thought it wouldn't be that bad just to not commentate it, because there's not much on the line for that game. It's kind of like a meaningless game. And if it was definitely a playoff game, I would try to reschedule and fit it in somewhere. But I'm just so busy, and it was either possibly sim it, which I did not want to do. I wanted to at least give you a gameplay of us playing. But it wasn't that bad of a game. We did win. We won 10 games on the season. So I mean, 10-6 isn't that bad. We won 11-5 last season. We did have the hardest schedule out of every single team on the Daddy League's website, MSPA website. Strength of schedule. I believe there was only 2 teams the Falcons were just below me in strength of schedule. I had the hardest schedule out of every single team. And then the third place was like a 70 rating. Mine was a 94. And I believe third place. There was 2 90s that I saw. The Falcons were like a 93 strength of schedule, so they had a really hard schedule too. But for 10 wins in our division, as tough as it is, and having the hardest schedule in every single team this year, and coming away with 10 wins, I'm really not too mad. I mean, this team, maybe missing playoffs now was probably the best option we could have had for us. We get a better draft spot. Hopefully we can get some better talent in the draft. We got some good players in that last year's draft, but the last year's draft, if you guys remember, was just messed up because we had to sim all of it, so no one was able to scout players in that draft. So that draft was already hard enough, but I was able to scout, and we got a lot more people scouted and stuff. So people like in positions that we need. But we're just gonna go around, look at things, look at awards, talk about some players. First things first, obviously we've signed all of our practice squad players, so that's good there. Didn't really play any of my practice squad players. Didn't really give them much playing time. I had to move around a couple people because Carius Gethers someone wanted to sign him, so I had to sign him to the active roster because I didn't want to get rid of him just yet. Saquon Barkley gets an upgrade. Go ahead and get him up to a 97 with that morale boost. Can we get a speed or something? Agility and ball carrier vision. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Darius Slayton, 1 more overall. Can he go up 2 overalls off this somehow? What should we do for him? His release is still pretty bad. That's in physical, right? Oh, we didn't even go up an overall. He got a lot there. Acceleration, break tackle, catching traffic, release, and spec catch. Hey, I'll take that. I will take that. Or maybe it says morale +1, so maybe he did go up to a 79. I think, just because the morale's boosted him up 1 now, so I think that's good. Casey Wayne, not sure about you, buddy. I think that's the free safety. Is that the free safety we drafted? No, actually, I'm not sure. This is the defensive tackle we drafted, and he just has. I did not mean to do power rusher there. I wanted to do top one. Don't think he's going to pan out. Al Woods has been a dominant defensive tackle along with Tomlinson for us. But that's that. Before we start talking about positions and stuff and what we need to do, we're going to go. This is how this standings ended up being. The Dallas Cowboys won the division at 12-4. The Redskins are 12-4 as well. Dallas has a tiebreaker. We are in third at 10-6. The Phillies at 9-7. Philly turned it around late, though. Philly definitely turned it up late and made some things happen. I guess we can look at the playoff schedule. Let's go ahead and do that. That's not where we wanted to go. That's where we needed to go. Playoff schedule. So the wild card matchups are the Browns at the Jets, Redskins at the Cowboys, Chiefs at the Titans, and the Packers at the Buccaneers. First round buys are Rams. NFC side is Rams and Bears, I believe, are the first round buys. And then the AFC side are Raiders and who's the other one? Raiders and the Bengals. Both of those are the 1 and 2 seeds for AFC, I believe. I'll keep you guys, once the Super Bowl's over, we'll make a video talking about the playoffs and stuff and who won and all that. But that is that. But, I mean, if you look at our schedule, we had a tough fucking schedule. I mean, our division's already tough enough. Go to the regular season. Rams, they're the 1 seed. Redskins, they made they're 12 and 4. Steelers were, I mean, it was okay. That's a decent game for us. Bengals, 2 seed. Eagles, a good team. Dallas, a good team. Bears are the 2 seed in the NFC. The Bucks made the playoffs. Seahawks weren't that bad. Ravens weren't that bad. 49ers, Cardinals. Eagles again, tough. Browns, I don't think the Browns, did the Browns? Yeah, the Browns made the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. And then Dallas and Redskins. So, I mean, we had so many playoff teams that we played, which is just insane. I mean, that hopefully next year's schedule, I mean, it's always good to have a tough schedule so you can, you're staying informed, you're getting battle tested. But it's just sometimes in divisions like this, an easy schedule is preferred because I got to play all these teams twice. So I already know I got 6 tough games. It sucks, man. It sucks. Go ahead into the standings, I guess, now since we're talking about this. Yeah, the Raiders, perfect season, 16-0. Let me get some water. Hold on. The Packers went 16-0 last season, 13-3 this year. Bears got 14-2. I mean, this is why the NFC is just so hard. I mean, the Bears and Packers, they're both going to be in the playoffs. One of them's winning the division, and one of them's getting wild card. So then it's in our division, it's 3 teams battling for one person's always going to get fucked. I mean, our division's so good, 2 people are going to get fucked. I mean, if Philly plays like they did at the end of the season next year, I mean, they might win the division. So it's just, the NFC is just so freaking insane. But we'll see if the Raiders can win. 16-0, that's pretty crazy. Packers went 16-0 and fell short. Didn't even make the Super Bowl. So we shall see how that ends up. But let's go into the stats. So we were 21st in passing yards, 12th in passing touchdowns, 20th in passer rating. Not bad. As you can see, Saquon Barkley gets the rushing title. First in rushing yards, was 2nd in touchdowns, 3rd in carries. Slayton 6th in receiving yards, 8th in receiving touchdowns, and 5th in receptions. We were 8th in total offense, which is good. I mean, top 10, that's great. That's where we were bad. 21st in defense. Definitely some holes we got to fill on the defensive side. I think having a corner alongside, like a star corner alongside Baker would help out a lot. I'm not too sure who's going to be hitting free agency this offseason. We'll just have to see. If there's some big name corners, we might have to go after them because I think that's one of our problems. Darryl played okay in some games, but then he's just got beat a lot, and I don't know if McCourty is, obviously we're not re-signing McCourty, so we'll have to fill that spot as well. But definitely on the defensive side of the ball, we gotta figure that out. Have to figure that out. So I have my previous video loaded up here to look at Daniel Jones. So last season, Daniel Jones threw the ball 458 times and completed 279 completions. So this year we threw it like 25 times less and completed 3 more completions. So threw the ball a little less, completed a little more. So our percentage is 3% better this year. So improvement. That's always good. It's always good to see improvement. He threw for 3,796 yards last season. This season threw for 4,071. Obviously, Daniel missed, I think, 2 games, right? Yeah, he missed 2 games. So last year, Daniel played. My throat's dry. Hold up. I'm talking a shitload. Last year, Daniel played all 16. So this is on a 14-game pace, and still had more completions, more yards, and a better completion percentage. So not bad. I mean, I want to see improvement in him, and so far we're getting that. Touchdowns, though, he did decrease in passing touchdowns. He threw 35 touchdowns last year, threw 32 this year. Obviously, if he played those 2 games, maybe he passes the 35 point for the touchdowns. Maybe not. You never know. I mean, Ryan Tannehill threw 5, so if Daniel Jones never got hurt, probably would have passed 35, I would think. So even though the stats say he didn't pass that and didn't improve in that marker, I still think he probably would have if he played those 2 games. Picks, we did throw less picks, believe it or not. We threw 6 with Ryan Tannehill. We won't talk about that. But in 16 games, Daniel Jones threw 25 interceptions last season, threw 23 this season. Obviously, if we played those 2 games, that number has a high probability of passing 25. So definitely got to control that next season. Stats say we decreased in picks, but we kind of didn't, because if you add Ryan Tannehill's, that means we threw 29 interceptions to 25 last season. So not good. We pretty much went up 4 picks. Not good at all. But if you also combine the touchdowns, we're at 37 touchdowns, so we're 2 touchdowns ahead. Passing, though, rushing is a different story. I think I ran for quite a bit of touchdowns with Daniel Jones. Excuse me. So we'll see, but not bad. His rating went up as well. His rating last season was 90.1. This season, 95.8. Was sacked a whole lot less. Was sacked 86 times last season. 86. That is insane. This season sacked 62, so we definitely protected. We protected him a lot more, a lot more, which is good. Overall, I think Daniel played okay. I mean, I think he progressed a little bit. Nothing like crazy where it's like 40 touchdowns, 10 picks, like something just absurd where I'm not turning the ball over like crazy. That's mainly our downfall. If I could just stop turning the ball over, and I mean, it's not every pick's on me. Sometimes it's just a complete overthrow that Daniel just blows, and it's an easy pick for them. So they're not all on me. A lot of them are, though. And if we can just fix that going into the next couple seasons, get his accuracy up, we can win a lot more games. We definitely can. But so far, I'm okay with Daniel Jones' performance on the season. Moving on to rushing. Saquon Barkley last year averaged 109 yards per game, had 12 rushing touchdowns, carried the ball 249 times for 1,500 yards last season, and fumbled 1 time. So this year we fumbled 4 times, so a little more fumbleitis, but we did carry the ball about 50 more times. We carried it 300 times this year, also had about 500 more yards, broke 2K rushing yards, 2,008 rushing yards, and had 6 more touchdowns rushing, so we had 18. Overall, great season for Saquon. I mean, leads the league in rushing yards. That's what we need. We need to pound the rock. I mean, that's what happened. Pound the rock, try to hit him with some play action. I mean, that's just how this offense has to be ran. And we were 3rd in attempts, yet we still led the league in rushing yards. Didn't lead the league in rushing touchdowns. Josh Jacobs had an absurd amount, like 28 or something retarded. I don't think that's insane. But great game or season for Saquon. Saquon did miss 2 games last season, so this is on 16-game pace that we have here. So the stats probably be a little more similar if he played those last 2 games, but it still would be a bump up from last year. He definitely would. I don't think he would have gotten 500 yards in 2 games last year. So good there. Ran the ball 50 more times, which is great. Gave him 6 more touchdowns. Did fumble a little bit, but is what it is. He broke 10 more tackles this year. Jeez. I guess this is what happens when I don't record, when I don't talk in my last video. My throat's just dying. But broke 10 more tackles, sorry. Had 11 broken tackles last season, had 21 this season, so he's a little more shifty, being a beast. Had a little bit less yards after contact, but that doesn't really matter. I don't really care. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but it's not something I'm too worried about. So, great season for Saquon. I mean, I can't complain about Saquon. I mean, yes, he fumbled 4 times, but cannot complain. Now, here's where it got a little bit different. Daniel Jones last season ran the ball 58 times for 368 yards. This year, we ran the ball 37 times, so a lot less, and got a lot less yards, 239. But we did get 4 touchdowns compared to the 1 touchdown last year that Daniel Jones got. So in total, this season, Daniel Jones got more touchdowns than Daniel Jones last season in 2 less games. So that's good. We're scoring the ball more. But I did also turn the ball over a lot more. I mean, last season fumbled only twice with Daniel Jones, and this season we fumbled 7 times. Just way too loosey-goosey with the ball. I mean, that's just that is what it is. It's just way too loose with the ball. 7 fumbles. Got to make sure I'm getting down, not taking unnecessary hits, and that's something that we got to figure out. I mean, next season I got to make sure I don't turn the ball over as much as I do, or we're not going to be able to do anything. Maybe we can clutch up, win the division, but making a deep playoff run into the Super Bowl, I can't be doing that with multiple turnovers. Fuck, dude. Throat is dying. But I don't really know if I should run too much with him. Last year I ran them quite a bit, 58 times compared to 37 this year. So I don't know if that was just, I don't really know what changed there, besides just I didn't run as much. It's not like I was like a game plan in the next season is trying not to run the ball that much, but it is what it is. Is what it is. Moving on to receiving. So we had a bunch of bumps in receiving. Hold on, let me make sure I get over there on my video. There we go. So last season, Slayton did miss 6 games, but he would have not even come close to the stats that he got this year, and that's just a fact. Maybe touchdowns, but other than that, every single stat, he would not have come close. Darius Slayton had a great first year for us. Rookie year, it was fantastic. And his next year, sophomore, is that what it is, season? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I'm coughing so much. I guess I'm still sick, apparently. Oh, man. Anyways, just dominated. I mean, absolutely dominated. Had 38 receptions last year in 10 games for 759 yards. This season had 100 receptions, which was, I believe it was 5th in the league. 1,772 yards. I mean, that's insane. Compared to last season where he had 759 yards, I mean, we got 1,000 more yards. 1,000 more yards and like 60 more catches out of Slayton. That is just, God, that is just insane. The touchdowns is the one that I think if Darius Slayton played all last 6 games last year, probably would have had more touchdowns. He had 13 in 10 games. In 16 games played this year, he had 18. Still a great number. I mean, nothing I'm too concerned about. I mean, just an absolute freak. Got him to superstar this season as well, which is great. Maybe next season I can get him to X Factor. Now that would be insane if we can get him to X Factor that early. That would be top tier. Moving on to Evan Ingram, pretty similar stats, honestly. The same exact thing as last year for us. Evan Ingram had 54 catches for 708 yards, and this year he had 56 catches for 787 yards. So a little more yards, 2 more receptions, and had 5 touchdowns last season and 6 touchdowns this season. So just pretty much just same exact season last year, just slightly better. I think maybe I would like to get Evan more involved. He's such a matchup nightmare if I can get him on tight end. So I think I need to start trying to spread him out wide a little more, motion him out wide. And a lot of people run man on me and stack the box, so if I can get Evan out wide and get him on some linebackers, some safeties, I think he'd do a lot more damage. So I think that's something I'm going to try to improve on going next season. I mean, it's not like I don't want Slayton to have 1,700 yards, but Evan is so quick. I think he's the fastest tight end in the game. That if I can get him on a linebacker, a slow safety, I mean, in man coverage, he could dominate. So it's something I think I need to figure out. Try to, find some plays for him where I can motion him out. If I see man coverage, then I can, find some plays for that. So we'll just have to see. This was a massive increase. Saquon Barkley. Last year, Saquon Barkley had 55 catches for 480 yards. This year, he had 71 receptions for 758 yards. So a lot more yards for Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley last season had 0 receiving touchdowns, and this year he had 3. So Saquon definitely popped off. I mean, he had a great year, not even receiving as well. I mean, was second in our team in receptions. Oh my God, I feel like I'm getting more sick, man. Was second on our team in receptions with 71, just a beast. I mean, there's nothing to say. If this dude can stay healthy and play 16 every single year, we can do so much damage with this guy. I mean, this guy is a monster, an absolute monster. Nothing really to talk about compared to last season. I mean, Ellison had pretty much the same exact stats. It's kind of crazy. He went 10 for 195 this year. Last year went 9 for 146. Caught a touchdown this year. Didn't have one last year. So as a backup tight end, I mean, that's kind of what you expect. Moving on to Morrow and Downing. Obviously, they weren't here last year, so I can't compare. I think they were okay. I think Downing was slightly disappointing. I mean, he's huge. He's 6'6". He played, 13 games, caught the ball 38 times, had 447 yards. I just don't know. I mean, he might be able to develop. He is star, right? Didn't I spend tokens on him? Yeah, so he is going to be able to develop. It's not like I'm going to cut him. I wouldn't say he had a great season. I think him and Morrow had an okay season. I mean, Jabari being an undrafted free agent, I think he played good. Downing was a 3rd-round pick, and I wouldn't say he was bad, but I also wouldn't say he was good. Really, he was just kind of meh. He had some signs where he made some plays, but he's so tall, and if I get like a 5'10" corner on him, I lob it up to him. He just doesn't come down with it. So just got to develop him more, I think. Don't know if he's ready to be that number 2 spot. We might have to figure something out in free agency or something, if there's a receiver there, or maybe make a trade, or I don't know. Well, I'm about to figure something out for that number 2 spot, because next season I'm hoping I can spend big this offseason, get a really good free agent or 2. Since we're not in the playoffs, we'll have a better odds of getting a better draft pick. We have a higher pick, obviously, than last year. Last year we won the wild card game, so we had like a 22 or something pick, or 23. I don't really know where our pick was. I can't remember. This year it should definitely be a lot higher than that. Well, I don't know about a lot higher, but we didn't make playoffs, so gonna have a good pick because of that. So I'm hoping next year is the year we win the division. That's the plan. I think I'm kind of happy we didn't make playoffs this year, honestly. We need better talent on this team to compete. We're doing good. I mean, with the roster we have, 11 wins first year, 10 wins second year with the hardest strength of schedule. I don't think we're doing that bad. So Downing, I think, was okay. Morrow, I think, because he was undrafted, I think he played good. I think he had a good year in the slot for us because he was undrafted. If maybe we drafted him in the 4th, I'd say probably the same thing as Downing, but because he was undrafted, I think he had a decent year. Moving on to blocking, I'm not really going to compare it to last year just because there's not really a point, but sacks allowed, Nate leads the team. Nate Soldier, absolute scrub. We'll talk about him later. Our rookie center, he allowed 15 sacks. Okay, and our rookie right tackle allowed 14. Zeitler and Hernandez, both were good there, 6 and 4, so didn't allow too many sacks. Both those guys are pretty good. Don't know if I'm going to resign Kevin. He's good for one more year after this, so next season he's good for that whole year. Then I might have to resign him. Don't know if I want to resign him or not, because we'll see how the regression hits him and stuff after that. Moving on to defense, let me go over to defense on the video here. Oops, not receiving. There we go. So, Alec Ogletree led our team in tackles with 107 tackles. Good for him. He did. I mean, it seems like my secondary linebacker that I'm not using leads the team in tackles, which is kind of weird because that's how it was last year. Last year, my user was Alec most of the time, and Ryan Kennelly, that's how you say his name, led our team in tackles. So, that's interesting. Tackles for loss. The leader for that was Benham with 18, which is great. I mean, had a phenomenal rookie year. That's why I think I'm going to draft another middle linebacker late next year. I probably shouldn't be giving out my draft plan, but I already did. So that's why I think I'm going to draft another middle linebacker late next year, because Benham's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Spoiler, he already got locked up. He's a superstar right now, so I think that award should give him the X Factor. I mean, if I can do that with middle linebacker, I might do that with another middle linebacker next season. We'll just have to see how it plays out. 13 picks as well. I mean, last year my user with Alec had 14. Could have had a lot more with Ben. He had a lot of drops at the beginning of the year, so I mean, just a great season. Benham, people were roasting me for the Benham pick, but he turned out great. I mean, he turned out to be an absolute monster. Leading in sacks, we have Dexter Lawrence with 10. I think last year Lorenzo led us in sacks. Let me see if I can. I don't know. BJ Hill led us in sacks last year with 15. BJ Hill this year only had 5, so not really a good year for BJ on the sack department. But he did get up to superstar development, which is great. He had one more tackle for a loss. And he also had, oh, never mind, I thought he had more tackles. He had 13 more tackles last year. It's not the greatest season for BJ. I still obviously want him. He's a superstar development, so there's no point in getting rid of him. He's young, superstar. He's almost at 80, so he'll get his ability. Al Woods, absolute freak. I mean, when I signed him, I was not thinking 10 tackles for a loss and 6 sacks. I really was. I was thinking just a backup guy, just in case. But he has really come into his role. That's why he got another contract. I don't even care how the regression hits him because this dude plays like a monster. Lorenzo Carter had 10 sacks last year. He got 8.5 this year, so a little less on the sacks. He had 18 tackles for a loss last year. Only had 13 this year, which is not the greatest. He did get a couple more tackles on the year, which is good. Still okay season for Lorenzo. Got him to superstar as well, so that's always good. But the sacks, we definitely got a lot less sacks this year than last year. I know they tweaked sliders compared to this season than last season. They made the blocking better. And so it's because the sacks were just insane last year. So I know that's why sack numbers are a little lower compared to some people. Jesus, I'm so sorry, guys. My throat is not cooperating right now. But still a good season. Dalvin Tomlinson, he had 10.5 sacks last season. He got 9 this season. He had 9 tackles for loss last season with 9 this year. So pretty good there. Had the same amount of tackles as well. Lawrence, last year, how much did he have last year? Last year at 11.5, so 10. He did have the same amount of tackles for loss, so 15 this year, 15 last year. A couple less tackles, but still good to see Dexter being a beast, leading our team in sacks there. Obviously, picks leader was Benham. I mean, nothing new there. Jabril had 6. Last year, Jabril got me 7, so that's good. Devin had 5, not bad. Julian Love last year only got me 2, so that's not bad. The one big, not really big difference, but Baker last year had 7 picks. He only had 4 this year. He had the same amount of pass deflections, had 19 last year and 19 this year. I don't know. I just felt like Baker is more of a ball hawk last year, picking all kinds of passes off. Still got 4, which I'm happy with. Haley only had 1. Not bad, not bad. I think we turned the ball over a lot more last season though than this season. Last season we were just hawking like crazy. Daryl, 1 pick for Daryl. But yeah, Benham had a great season. Hopefully Jabril last year got bumped up to superstar because he was one of the top best safeties in the season. So hopefully he can get bumped up to X Factor, because I missed my first X Factor thing with Jabril by 1 turnover. I mean, it was so close. Wish I could have gotten the X Factor. That would have been huge for the defense. Devin, probably still gonna get rid of you. Kicking, only missed 3 field goals. Not bad. How many extra points did I miss? Where's that at? I missed 2 extra points. That's still not bad. Longest field goal was a 54, so not too ashamed of that. Punting. I do want to compare my punter from this year to last year, though, because we did decide to get a new punter. Last year we had, I don't know what his name was last year. I'm trying to skip through my video. I probably should have put timestamps, huh? Oops. I think I skipped punting. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. Here we go. So punting. Last season, we punted the ball 67 times, so only punted at 55, so punted it a lot fewer, which is great. Net average last year was 37.7. This year was 41.3. Inside the 20, we had it 25 times, but we did punt the ball 12 more times. This year, only 14 inside the 20. Touchbacks, last year we had 10, and this year we had 7. And the longest punt last year was 68, and we had a 70-yarder this season. So, pretty good. I like our punter. I mean, he's a rookie. Obviously, he's young, but he still played okay. 74 overall rookie. I'm not too ashamed with that. Kick return was not good. I mean, we tried Downing. Was ultimate failure. Our longest kick return was 32. Tried Lecarius. Was okay for a while, but then, I mean, Downing was ultimately better at that on his average. And then we tried Emmanuel Hall for a bit. He was worse than both of them. So that's a position we have to address in our special teams. I mean, Jabril, an average of 7. I mean, this is god awful. Not saying Jabril's bad back there, but I think we need to get a guy that's just specialized for that. That's just like meant to be there. I'm making this video extremely long. I'm talking forever, so we're gonna try to breeze through some of this stuff here. Best offense in the NFL was the Packers. What's new? We are right here at number 8, like I said. Best defense in the NFL, Chicago. That's obviously not surprising there. Best conversions were the Raiders, 16-0. Red zone efficiency were the Raiders. Penalties, least penalties were the Buccaneers. And the most turnover differential was the Packers at 32. Where were we at? We got 4. It's because we turn the ball over so much. I mean, we take the ball away 41 times, then we turn it over 37 times. I mean, that's just... That's bad. I mean, look, 37 times, that's not good, man. That's not good if we're trying to be a top-tier team. But those are the stats. Let's go ahead and go to the yearly awards. NFL MVP, Josh Jacobs. Coach of the Year, John Gruden. Obviously, AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Jacobs. The amount of XP Josh Jacobs is going to get is going to be crazy. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Niles Cooper. That dude had like an 80-yard touchdown on me. So, definitely deserved that. Sidney Sams for the Broncos gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best quarterback, Phillip Rivers. Best running back, Josh Jacobs, obviously. Best wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill dominating. Best offensive lineman, the Raiders have 4 people up here. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy right there. Best defensive lineman, Myles Garrett. Best linebacker, Von Miller. Best DB, William Jackson. And best kicker, Harrison Butker. Moving over to the NFC side. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon. That's what we like to see. Getting him some XP. I mean, I'm hoping I can get maybe speed or something, make him even faster. That would be pretty insane. Defensive Player of the Year, DeMarcus Lawrence. Probably expected that, him or Khalil Mack. Benham was on the list, you know, at number 5, so that's good to see him there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we had Downing. He missed quite a couple games, but he did make it at number 5, so that's good for him. And our fullback made it up here at number 9, so that's kind of weird how our fullback made it up there. Defensive Rookie of the Year, like I said, Benham. I mean, pretty easy. I don't think any of these guys were close to the stats that Benham got on the year. Best quarterback, Daniel Jones. He was up here, number 7, but Jared Goff wins the award. Best running back, Saquon Barkley, domination. Best wide receiver, Brandon Cooks. Darius Slayton was up here at number 4, so good for him. Best offensive lineman, Jason Kelce. We had no players there. Best defensive lineman, DeMarcus Lawrence. We had no players on there. Best linebacker was Khalil Mack. Benham came in 3rd. Other than that, no more players in the Giants. Best DB was Eddie Jackson, and we had no players in the top 10. And best kicker was Kairos Santos, and our kicker was at number 5. So good for him. Hopefully he gets a little bit of XP. So that is that for the stats. We already talked about standings, playoff teams. We already went over schedule and stuff. So I think that's... Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to do, though. Let's go ahead and go here. Hold on, I gotta load my freaking YouTube. Let me check if he should be at 79, right? Yeah, he unlocks at 80s. Morale's +1. Yeah, so he did, based on his overall 79. Okay, so yeah, he did go up earlier when I showed his when I upgraded him. He did go up in overall. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I got it loaded up. So the beginning of this year, our center was a 67 overall, so he went up only 2 overalls. Same thing with our right tackle. He started at a 66 overall, and he went up to a 68. So they went up a little bit. Do I think they're our center and right tackle for the future? Probably not. I'm not sure. Will Hernandez went up 1 overall as well, so that's good. Nate Solder, I'm thinking about cutting him, so here's where you guys are going to have to help me here. His contract is god-awful. I mean, why are we paying this man this much to suck this bad? Seriously. $45 million in total salary. I mean, that's just insane. He has 1 more year, so next season he will be done. But if I want to splash big in free agency, we got to free up some more cap space. I mean, we had a decent amount of cap room, but I want a little more just to be safe. Because I think next year, let me double check. I think next year we have to re-sign this man right here. Obviously, we want to re-sign him. Yeah, so he has 1 more year, and then we have to spend a shitload of money on him. So definitely want to re-sign Saquon. But Nate, if we go ahead and release him, we are going to be freeing up $12.5 million in cap room and a penalty of 4.1. And if I remember correctly, the penalty will not affect this year's offseason, but next. I think that's how it works. So then the offseason next year it'll be 4.1 million less, I believe. I think that's how it works. Even if it's this year, I mean, I think this has to be a release once free agency starts. I mean, I'm freeing up 12.5 million. That's a shitload of cap space. I think that's a cut. Let me know what you guys think about that. Slayton was a 74 overall at the start of this season. Could you believe that? 74 overall. Dude went up 5 overalls. He's at 80 right now because he's boosted, and he went up to superstar dev. So that is just great, just being an absolute monster. I mean, look at these stats. I mean, these stats are nice. If we have another year like he did this year, and he's going to be mid 80s. Oh my! I mean, these are crazy. Green. Look at all the greens, man. 94 acceleration, 93 speed. Just freaking insane. Saquon was, I think his morale was boosting him. Yeah, boosted 2 overalls. But at the beginning of this year, he was a 92 overall. He does have the morale boost, but he's at a 97 now. So Saquon just continues to improve. He'll be a 99 overall before you know it. Daniel Jones was a 70 overall at the beginning of this year and normal dev, so we used tokens to get him a star development, and he went up to a 74 overall. So 4 overalls, not too bad, not too bad. Our fullback went up 1 overall. Sterling Shepard, believe it or not, went up an overall, surprisingly. Downing started at a 66, so he went up 3 overalls, and we used our tokens to get him to star development. And Jacoby, is that his name? Jacoby Jabari, that's his name. He went up 2 overalls, so that is that. Oh, and Evan Ingram went up 1 overall. But that's that. Everyone else pretty much stayed the same. Offensive line needs work. Obviously, he's staying on my team for probably the rest of the season or the series. Kevin, if he regresses under an 85 overall, and I don't have to pay max dollar for him, I might re-sign him next season. We'll just have to see what the regression does to him. I don't think that the regression hits till after the Super Bowl, so we got a ways to wait. Nate, I think's a cut. Let me know what you guys think. Golden Tate, I'm being honest. I'm trying to ship this man. I'm trying to. It's not worth cutting Golden Tate, because look at this. We're only freeing up 4, and we have a penalty of 11. I mean, I just don't even think that's worth to cut him. We get $4 million, but we have a penalty of $11 million. I'm trying to deal him this offseason. We'll just have to see how it goes. Regression might fuck him hard, though, and then it might be GG because of his contract, but we'll see. Sterling Shepard, I can't deal him until the trade deadline of next season. That's when he's halfway through his contract. So at the trade deadline, I might try to move Sterling. We'll just have to see how next season goes. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball. Let me get there on my video here. So, on defense, obviously Devin McCourty is going to be leaving. Julian Love, he went up an overall somehow. I really don't think Julian Love's our free safety for the future, though. Might have to address that in the offseason draft or something. I'm not too sure about that. But Devin, we're not re-signing. We're letting him go. Lorenzo was a superstar last year, superstar this year as well, and he went up 3 overalls. So it was a 77 at the beginning of this season, I should say, not last year. Now he went up to an 80. Alec Ogletree went up an overall, but I do think he is also another cut candidate. He has a big contract. If we release him, we free up $8.61 million and only a penalty of $1.75. I mean, him and Nate, I don't see them being with us for the future. Obviously, Alec made a lot of plays for us, but I mean, I was just using him most of the time. I don't see a reason to re-sign him or keep him on the team for as much money as he's holding. The penalty's not that much. I think that's an easy cut candidate. Let me know what you guys think about that. Ben Ham, starting off at the beginning of the season, was a 66 overall normal development. Now he is a superstar at 74 overall, and probably will be X Factor once we get his awards in for Award XP. I think that doesn't come till after the Super Bowl for winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. X-Man's a 70 overall now. He was a 69 at the beginning of the season, so good for him, I guess. I mean, not bad. Ryan went up 1 overall too. Golden stayed the exact same. Don't know if Marcus will be starting for us at outside linebacker next year. We'll just have to, see what happens. Jabril went up 2 overalls. He's an 87 overall this year. Darryl went up an overall somehow. Don't ask me how. He did, though. He definitely did. Tomlinson went up an overall. Dexter went up 2 overalls. Was a 78 at the beginning of the year. Went to an 80. And BJ Hill went up 3 overalls and got the superstar development. So, good year for him. Baker grew like 8 overalls or something crazy in the very first season. He was a 78 overall at the beginning of this year, so he's only went up 1 overall because he got that 2 overall boost because of the morale. Not the year I would like to have Baker have, but that's why I think if we could somehow, if there's a couple star corners that could try to go after, I think this team would be so much better if we defensive line. They're getting there. Tomlinson's a beast. Dexter and BJ, they will get there. They will get there when they get there. Lorenzo, beast. Ben Ham, beast. Jabril, a beast. If I can get Baker at that number 2 corner, keep Haley in the slot, and have a god right here at the number 1 spot, I think we can be looking very deadly. Our slot guy, Grant, went up 2 overalls, so good for him. I really like Haley in the slot. I really do. I think he's played great. But that's that for defense. Special teams, I guess we can go look at. I mean, nothing really changed here. Both stayed the same overalls that they did at the beginning of the year. And specialist stuff, I guess, don't matter too much. But that's probably that. Definitely let me know what you guys think. This video went on a lot longer. I thought it was going to be like 20-30 minutes. Sorry, I talk way too much sometimes. But let me know what you guys think about Alec and Nate. Both those, I believe, are 100% cuts in the offseason. I don't see myself signing them at all. Golden, I think Golden has to stay if I can't trade him, because I don't want to get that 11 million in penalties. That's a little insane. I guess we can go ahead and use our coach XP while we're at it. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. We got 5,300 XP. So let's go ahead. We already did the quarterback training. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Let's go ahead and do defensive line and DB. Submit that. So we got 1,800. I'll do linebacker too. Why not? Get all my defensive training boosts. So D-line, linebackers, and DB training boosts done. We'll probably save up. All this is maxed. I don't really care about those two. We'll probably save up for wide receiver. Running back training boost does not matter. I mean, I'm not going to be training Saquon and tight ends. Probably won't be trading Evan, because I mean they're both good enough. I got other people I got to try to improve. So I'll probably try to trade or save up for the wide receiver training. We already got expert scouting. I don't even know if this stuff doesn't even matter, because it's just the way we do free agency is stuff that won't even matter. I don't think. Retirement stuff, maybe. Re-sign stuff, that could matter, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm done now. I'm done rambling on. Next video will be once the Super Bowl's over, so it might be like a week or so. I mean, it might be a while. We'll just have to see. I mean, these guys, it's around holidays time, so it depends on how quick the wild card and division and stuff we advance through. But once there was a Super Bowl winner, or maybe not even that, maybe in the Pro Bowl, we'll go ahead, once the Pro Bowl happens, like before the Super Bowl, I'll go through who made the Super Bowl, and then we'll go from there. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it is, but it might be a while, so stay tuned. Let me know what you guys think I did on the year with the players and the record and stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.